such as a mosque, residential accommodation, clinic, terminal conference spaces, recreational areas, and hardboard offices. 5. Prempeh Agyeman, the first international airport runway extension. Following the completion of a new terminal building at the Prempeh Agyeman, the first international airport, the runway, which currently measures 1,981 meters in length, is being extended to 2,320 meters to accommodate medium-sized aircrafts and facilitate international flight operations. The project is 90% complete and it is expected to be completed by end of this year. Additionally, night operations have been extended at Prempeh Agyeman, the first international airport, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. and at Tamale International Airport from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., supporting government 24-hour economic policy and enhancing passenger convenience. 6. Development of Bolgatanga Airport. Following President Mahama's directives, steps are being taken to develop a modern airport in Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. The airport will accommodate jet crafts, serving as a key gateway to the Upper East region and boosting important sectors including trade, tourism, and mining. Currently, studies and site assessment are underway to support the implementation of this project. 7. Development of an MRO and establishment of Aviation Training Academy at Ho Airport. To revive the Ho Airport through a public-private partnership and transform it into a hub for aviation training and aircraft maintenance, a 10-acre site within the airport has been allocated for this development. The first phase involves establishing a pilot training academy and offers internationally certified programs for aspiring pilots in the West Africa sub-region. The second phase will develop an MRO facility to support the maintenance of domestic and regional aircraft. This initiative aligns with government's broader plan to leverage regional airports and diversify Ghana's aviation sector. Honorable Minister for Government Communications, members of the press, Air Traffic Control Tower. Air Traffic Control Tower is vital for ensuring airport safety and securing national airspace. The existing ATC tower at Kotoka International Airport, which predates Ghana's independence, is outdated and faces operational challenges. Despite remedial efforts by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, these issues persist, underscoring the need for a new state-of-the-art tower. The construction is ongoing and currently at 20% complete. The new facility will feature a visual control room, approach radar room, technical equipment room, and operations room, among others. 9. Advanced passenger information and passenger name record systems. To enhance the collection and verification and analysis of passenger data at the airport, His Excellency the President officially inaugurated the Advanced Passenger Information and Passenger Name Record Systems on Monday, 4th August 2025. This strategic initiative aims to enhance the data, enhance and detect known criminals or terrorists at our facilities. The high quality data between aircraft and law enforcement agencies, and also this system will enable a timely identification of high-risk passengers and enable the security agencies deal with such issues. The development of this system has been completed successfully and almost all the airlines integrated onto the platform. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the maritime inland water subsector. To support the 24-hour economy and resetting Ghana agenda, various interventions are underway to create a business-friendly maritime ecosystem. Ghana Shippers Authority as one of them. The shipping industry, vital to our economy, has been hindered by weak regulations affecting port efficiency and cost. The Ghana Shippers Authority Act 2024, Act 1122, passed in July 2024, aims to address these issues, ensure fair pricing, and promote best practices. The authority is developing regulations to operationalize the Act, which is expected to be submitted to Parliament for approval by end of this year. Once passed, the regulation will enable the Ghana Shippers Authority to implement measures that will reduce port cost. 2. Construction of Akatechiwa Freight Park. To promote investment in warehousing, freight parks and infrastructure for shipping industry are underway and being constructed. The Ghana Shippers Authority is building a modern freight park in Akatechiwa in Central Region along the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. And this facility will provide parking, accommodation, maintenance, and other services for transit truck drivers, aiming to reduce stress and accidents. The contractor has been selected and preliminary works has started. 3. Shallow berths at Tema Port. At the Tema Port, the current draft limits port capacity and preventing large vessels from calling, which affects its competitiveness in the sub-region. The time around and throughput. To address this, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has engaged China Harbour Engineering to dredge, and it is expected to increase the draft capacity and enable larger vessels to berth. This will improve the turnaround time, boost container throughput, and strengthen the port's regional competitiveness. 4. Revamping of Tema Shipyard. The Tema Shipyard, built by Osagifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to repair, maintain, and overhaul ships, has been rendered non-operational for many years. Under his directives, the President directed that this strategic facility be revamped and fully operational. And as such, I can report today that the Tema Shipyard has been redesigned and reconstructed the Dock 1 main pump to improve docking time, reactivated Dock 2 for full operations, and rehabilitated the office spaces. These efforts has led to creation of jobs, while the Tema Shipyard introduces a 3-shift system in line with the 24-hour economy policy. 5. Upgrade of vessel traffic management information system. The Ghana Maritime Authority is upgrading its VTMIS to enable a 24-hour electronic surveillance of Ghana's coast, the exclusive economic zone, and marine resources. The updated system aims to enhance navigational safety, maritime security, environmental protection, and combat unlawful activities like drug trafficking, piracy, armed robbery, and IUU fishing. 6. Safety of inland waterways and water lake. To enhance safety and regulation of inland water transport, the Ghana Maritime Authority will soon open an inland waterway safety and regulation office at Akosombo, working closely with the Water Lake Transport Company on the water lake safety. A research and rescue unit will be established at Pando Toko. In addition, the Ghana Maritime Authority search and rescue vessel, Mate Kole, will be stationed there, and I look forward to commissioning this viable or important project. 7. Other inland waterways used for transportation. Ladies and gentlemen, most people living along the water lake and other water bodies depend on canoes and boats for daily transportation. However, inland waterways often lack security measures, leading to frequent accidents and deaths. This year alone, 7 students drowned in Nikpe, Laura District, and 2 people died in a boat accident in Bompama in the Wild West. Even my constituency, Sabuba, has had its fair experience in boat accidents. To improve the safety of inland water transport, Government, through the Ghana Maritime Authority, is deploying safety officers and establishing satellite offices. His Excellency the President will commission the safety teams later this year after their training. 8. Development of coastal water transport system. As part of President Mohammed's vision to develop a coastal water transport system to complement the existing road transport system, we are commissioning a feasibility studies to explore the potential in the private sector in the coastal water transport system. Expression of interest will soon be advertised to invite interested firms, and I encourage local companies with relevant experience to participate in this road transport services subsector. Ladies and gentlemen, road transport has long been Ghana's economic backbone and primary mode of travel. All transport, whether by air, sea, rail, ultimately ends with the means of road transport. However, the sector faces challenges like congestion and inefficiencies. Current efforts aim to enhance safety and efficiency are: 1. Regularization of motorcycles and tricycles for fare-paying passengers. Motorcycles and tricycles, commonly known as Okada, are vital for transportation system. However, current regulation bans their use, creating enforcement and safety challenges. To establish a robust regulatory framework, the ministry has begun processes to amend the Road Traffic Act 2004, Act 683, and the Road Traffic Regulations 2012, LI 2180. Stakeholder consultations have been completed and the proposed amendments have been approved by Cabinet to be laid in Parliament when they reassume. 2. Reduction in transport public fares. To alleviate the burden on commuters and mirror microeconomic improvement such as the reduction in fuel prices, government negotiated for 15% decrease in public transport fares. This reduction, which took place or effect on May 24, 2025, represents the most significant decrease recorded since the administrative arrangement on public transport fares was introduced in 2015. This measure has provided relief to commuters whilst maintaining operational stability of the transport operators. 3. DVLA 24-hour services. To improve and expand service delivery and support the implementation of the 24-hour economy policy, the authority has established a new operational office at the Adenta bus terminal here in Accra. This modern facility operates 24 hours a day, offering round-the-clock services to enhance accessibility and convenience for motorists in Adenta and nearby areas. Ladies and gentlemen, the DVLA has since May this year commissioned and operationalized 4 new offices in Adenta, Boale, Asamankase, and Akotia. 2 new offices in Doma and Bechim are set to be commissioned later this month. With the operationalization of these offices, the authority is taking steps to close the service gap and bring its operations closer to citizens in underserved areas. 4. Printing of backlog cards. As of December 2024, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority had a backlog of 440,000 unprinted driver license cards. Currently, all these backlog cards have been printed and dispatched to the various DVLA offices for collection. A total of 26,045 cards are currently undergoing lamination and will be delivered shortly. 5. Registration of earth-moving equipment. To help identify and track equipment owners as part of our efforts to address illegal mining Galamsey, the DVLA has intensified the registration of earth-moving equipment. This initiative aims to assign special identification numbers to such machinery, which are then shared with the Minerals Commission to enhance tracking and monitoring. To date, the authority has successfully registered 9,240 earth-moving equipment under this exercise. 5. Road safety. Members of the press, road fatalities remain a leading cause of deaths in the country, with about 1,504 lives lost in the first half of this year. These preventable deaths can be reduced through behavioral change. To address this, the ministry is taking the necessary steps to amend the road traffic regulations, and when passed, it will help enhance education and enforcement efforts. 7. Operations of MMTL and ISTC. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is committed to revitalizing Metro Mass Transit Limited and Intercity STC Coaches Limited, which are currently in distress and need urgent financial support. We plan to modernize their fleet and upgrade existing infrastructure for efficient service delivery. The MMTL fleet will include 350 Toyota Haze buses, 100 coastal buses, and 50 cargo and parcel trucks. Deliveries will commence at the end of this year through early 2026. Other arrangements are underway to modernize Intercity STC fleets in phases, including the introduction of electronic buses for their operations. Railway sub-sector. Ladies and gentlemen, the railway sub-sector, once a vital part of our transportation network, has suffered neglect, and President John Dramani Mahama is committed to revitalizing it to meet the growing demands. Government plans to modernize and expand the railway infrastructure for fleet and passenger services, creating jobs and boosting local economies and fostering trade. Tema to Mpakadan Railway Line. The 97-kilometer Tema to Mpakadan Railway Line, which is part of a multimodal system connecting Tema Port to Bupe Port via Water Lake, has been completed. However, the viability of the rail line depends on fleet services, but requires further investment in port infrastructure to facilitate the transfer of cargo between rail and the lake. Government has therefore taken steps to develop the line for fleet operations. Western Railway Line. The Western Railway Line spans 330 kilometers from Takoradi to Kumasi, with a branch line extension from Dunkwa to Awasu. Construction on sections of the line, the 22-kilometer Kojo-Krom to Mansu, 78 kilometers from Takoradi Port to Hine Valley, and 6 kilometers Edom to Kesi, have all been halted since December 2024 due to unpaid payment certificates by the previous administration. Government, through the Ministry of Transport and Ghana Railway Development Authority, is engaging stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance and the Attorney General's Office, to resolve the outstanding issues to enable the contractor to resume work. I am delighted to share with you that Amandi Construction, one of the contractors, have resumed work and currently on site. 2. Perfection of titles to railway lines. The Ghana Railway Development Authority is currently collaborating with security agencies and Lands Commission to launch a campaign to remove encroachers from the railway right-of-way and perfect titles to railway lands nationwide. This is to enable our contractors to have unimpeded access to land and facilitate early completion of railway projects. 3. Railway labor issues and Ghana Railway Company Limited staff salaries. The Ghana Railway Company's operations have declined over the years due to infrastructure deterioration, which has limited its capacity to generate sufficient revenue to cover its operational costs, including staff salaries. We are engaging with the Ministry of Finance and stakeholders to develop a sustainable solution going forward. ladies and gentlemen, I must add that we feel for the workers and we have gotten close to resolving this issue and getting them their salaries. Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair. Honorable Minister for Government Communications, Deputy Minister for Transport, the Ministry of Transport will be hosting the first ever Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair, scheduled to take place at the World Trade Center in Accra from the 22nd to 24th of this month. This fair marks an important milestone in our collective efforts to shape the future of transport and logistics in Ghana. It will serve as a unique platform for innovation, collaboration, and exchange of ideas that would drive efficiency and growth in this critical sector. I extend a warm invitation to all stakeholders, industry leaders, investors, and experts to join us for this landmark event. Together, we will chart a new pathways, strengthen partnership, and unlock the vast opportunities that lies within Ghana's transport and logistics industry. Honorable Minister for Communications, Deputy Minister, Chief Director and Directors of the Ministry of Transport, members of the press, I have attempted to provide you with insights into the sector's activities during this period. Although not exhaustive, I trust this presentation sets the tone for engagement with the public through the media present here today. Any gaps I may have left will be addressed during the questions and answer time. It is our expectation that with your support, we will achieve the targets we have set for ourselves to improve the transport environment in line with the Resetting Ghana agenda. I want to thank you for your kind attention, and God bless our country, Ghana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Transport, for that in-depth presentation, which has highlighted key developments in the sector. At this stage, we will take questions from members of the media present. So as is the established rubric, if you have any question, please come up to the microphone, indicate who you are, which media house you represent, and go straight to your question. You also know that we don't encourage lengthy preambles in the interest of time. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. My name is Julius, and I report for the Ghanaian Times. Honorable Minister, throughout your presentation, it appears nothing came up with regards to Ayalolo. What's the plan for Ayalolo? Most of the time, when you close around and you are going home, circle, you see many people at various stations waiting for buses to go home. Meanwhile, some of the buses have been parked for some time. Now, what's the plan for Ayalolo? Right. Tied to that, before the election, some electronic buses were brought in. Mm-hmm. Coincidentally, today I joined one. It was quite comfortable. What's the plan in that regard? And there are a lot of executive vehicles on the way. At times, you wonder how they get the DVL approval.
All right.
What's the plan for all this? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Seki GBC. Honorable Minister, I want to find out when will Takrade, Kojokrom, Accra, Alajo, Dom, Accra, Tema coaches will be back on the rail lines. And then two, early last month, the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council announced a 20% increase in transport fares without the GPRTU. GPRTU came out to dissociate itself from that decision. Then later on, they called the increment off. The reason or the allegation they made was that they tried to get in touch with you and you were nowhere to be found. Then there was another association in the same sector also said they tried to get in touch with you, access you. And so they also decided to increase transport fares by 20%. At the moment, how would you describe your relationship with the private commercial transport operators? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Minister. My name is Patrick Asford Boyd with Radio Gold. I want to find out from you if you'll be able to tell us the current state of the STC and also Metro Mass Transit, because generally it is viewed or perceived as these entities are not making profit. And so if they are not making profit, why do we always have to push money into it when it is not making profit? Especially when you have a business that is not making profit, you think otherwise, but not, putting more money into it. So I just want to find out the current state of these two state transport services. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll take the last question in this batch, after which we'll come back for.
So good morning,
questions.
my name is Emmanuel Romiotete. I work with Ahuto FM. Please, Article 36, Section 9 of our Constitution calls for balanced regional development. And as a son from the north, please, I want to know, how soon will the northern regions be connected to the national railway network? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister will answer this batch of questions, after which we'll invite more from the media. Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you for these questions. First from Ayalolo. The Ayalolo bus services does not lie under the supervision of the Ministry of Transport. They are under the Ministry of Local Government. But we are also aware that we need to collaborate to ensure that we provide that kind of transport for our people. And so I have had talks with the minister just to help improve upon their operations. One of the things we're going to do is to look at the terminal by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly that has been taken over by hawkers and other people. We have visited the places and ensuring that we will get the Ayalolo buses to run. The other issue is that a lot of them will require huge sums of money to put them back. So I know the minister is working to get new fleet to support their operations. The second question was on EV vehicles. What is the plan? Now, electronic vehicles are the way to go when it comes to public transport, because cost of maintaining them is very easy, and these state companies, when they have the EV vehicles, they'll be able to operate and make profit to sustain their activities. We inherited 10 of those EVs that was supposed to come in a package of 100. The previous government delivered 10 and paid for the 10. You all know that it is something that we need to continue with, and in continuing, we need to get the necessary finances to be able to pay for the 90 that is left. We are having it as part of our budget for this year, and I'm very hopeful that the discussions I had with the Minister of Finance going forward will be able to get the 90 buses delivered. We are also doing a lot of education. We have done 13 regions on the use and the importance of EV vehicles. We are linking up with the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition to see how they can put the infrastructure, because the infrastructure lies within their domain, such that anybody who will have, or any company that will have the EV vehicles will have free access to be able to put them on road. From GBC, when would the Takoradi and other towns have their rail line revamped or operational? I stated clearly that we inherited a situation where all the contractors that were on site had all abandoned site because of unpaid interim certificates that were provided or made. We have gone into discussions with them, and as I reported that Amandi has resumed work. It's like with the other contractors. The issues are time deals with a lot of variations when it comes to contract. An Attorney General's office is assisting us to understand the contractual agreements and the arrangements that were made so that we can get the contractors to site and for them to do a completion of all the projects that they were handling. The other issue had to do with the then proposed increment in fares. We have an administrative arrangement that before any reduction or increment in public fares, it has to be an engagement between the ministry and the transport unions. And the transport unions will attest that they are one of the organizations under my ministry that I have constantly engaged. What surprises sometimes is that when some people want to justify the unjustifiable, they will create that scenario. I've had several meetings with them after that announcement. And it was like, I didn't say it, this one says I didn't say it. They said it was the media that misrepresented them. Because I have engaged them severally on these issues. How did I get to the 15% reduction in the transport fares if I didn't engage them? And GP RTU wasn't part of them because they saw that that was not the right way, but they just decided to engage with other reasons that I cannot state here. But I've had a good working relation with all of them. And I want to still say that going forward, we will continue to engage in the same manner to ensure that we provide service to our people. So our relationship is good. Current state of Metro Mass Transit Limited and Intercity STC has stated that they are in distress and they need financial support. These two institutions have been run down to the point that if not a proper intervention from government, they will not be able to stand on their own. There have been several engagements with them, and that is why I stated that we are going to renew their fleet, and I stated the number of vehicles we are expecting to support their operations. What we have realized is that over the years, a lot of the activities were ceded off to private companies. So you see STC now having a name that is STC. Most of the activities are given out on contract. And I must report that we are engaging those people a way to retrieve those activities and put them back to STC so that they can generate the needed revenue. It is the private sector that is making the revenue now, not those state-owned enterprises. And we are far advanced to see how we can take back some of those contracts and allow the STC and Metro Mass. STC cannot boast of over 60 buses to be able to connect our cities and also do the international travels. And so by close of year to early next year, we would have gotten some vehicles to support their operations. The Ahunto FM connecting railway to the northern part of the country. It is one of the projects that when we are able to implement, it will facilitate trade. We are all aware that our landlocked countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they all rely on our ports, either the Tema or the Takoradi port. And it is only rail that can carry large volumes of goods or cargo. And so if we have a lot for them to take from our ports to their countries, then the best way is to develop the rail sector. About 2 weeks ago, the Minister for Infrastructure, Burkina Faso, was in my office. We had serious engagement, and it is at the level of our bosses for us to consider a kind of joint rail program between Ghana and Burkina Faso. And so We will not put timelines, but I can assure you that we are working diligently to ensure that we use the rail so that we can take the traffic from the trunk routes onto the rail that will serve our people in a better way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. If there are any more questions, we'll take them at this point. Yeah. Yes, there was a question on what you are doing about the increasing number of rickety and poorly maintained vehicles on our roads, which many believe contributes to road accidents. So you may want to take that in the next round. No, when the next batch of questions are asked. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. Salamat Kukwa Pinto. I work with the Spite Media. I have 3 questions for the minister. The first one has to do with Ghana Airlines. In his presentation, I didn't hear anything about it, so I want to know what's the sector.
I think it was the first thing that he touched on, but don't worry, he will take the opportunity to reiterate.
So I want to know
for your benefit,
what his sector is doing about it to bring Ghana Airlines back. The next has to do with some penalties from DVLA. Some driver unions were said that they did not had any consultation with the minister, and so they were demanding its withdrawal. I want to know his response.
Please clarify, what exactly are you requesting to be withdrawn?
Okay, so one has to do with the fact that if the DVLA requirements, some of them do not have it, then the punishment is that they take their driver licenses from them.
Okay.
Some of them.
You are talking about sanctions for road traffic violations.
Yes, please. I want to know his response. And the third one has to do with the EV vehicles. Yeah. So I know Ghana wants to transition into the green environment, but I want to know from him, how is the charging points going to be like? Does government have plans to put up charging point, just as we have Goy filling stations, Shell filling stations, where when you move, you can refill your vehicles? Is government planning to have some of these charging points to help with the EV vehicles? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. I want my questions to be answered in Twi, so if possible, I want to speak Twi.
I'm not too sure about the minister's Twi, but no problem. We'll make the most of the situation, yes.
Many Collins, everybody, me adwuma Kesbin TV, Kesbin FM. Pempino reporter and a babon say, I'm Trotro and Nenum Krumono, a buoa, fair no, on begging a pay, Nes maintenance in the inside no, a preparation for a babon too much. Me crani be to me that me try to me kofi na dan asem enti no ye hwe say minister e kon be na be fa so a sa no ma no obetimi monitor say the be atotro na enye e prepare for kan mu no obetimi twa so ma yem that's it.
Honorable, I believe this ties in with the earlier question about maintenance of rickety vehicles. All right.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Sarah with City FM and ChannelOne TV. So, Honorable Minister, the DVLA disclosed plans around May this year to open 6 offices outside Ghana to combat the influx of fake licenses among Ghanaians living abroad. Has this goal been achieved? And if not, what plans are being considered to ensure these offices become operational? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take one last question. If there is any other question, we'll take it at this stage.
My name is
Patrick. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Ifoma Ogbe from Sena Radio Online and then the Exposé newspaper. Honorable Minister, in other jurisdictions, inland water transport is a big deal. It's a form of tourism driving their economies. I want to know what plans do you have to replicate same here? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The final question from...
All right, thank you very much. This is going to be very brief. That one has to do with the last year or so, somewhere in April, there was a train, Patrick Asford Bodu Radio Gold. There was a train that was on test run that got an accident, and it was taken back to the manufacturers. I want to find out the latest updates on it. And also, we're reading in some news that railway workers or staff have not been paid for some months. We want to find out from
the minister. I believe the minister addressed that. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
He says plans have gone far to ensure that that situation is remedied. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister.
All right. Seth, you have a second bite at the cherry.
Yes.
All right.
This one is very brief.
Okay.
I want to find out from the minister the current state of the Buankra inner port. And then my GBC.
All right. So you want to find out the latest updates on the Buankra inland port project. Okay.
And also my earlier question had to do with Accra Tema route, Accra Dome to the rest, Accra Dome route.
They're talking about various railway corridors.
Yes, all these
intracity railway corridors.
Railway lines. They were working.
Okay.
At the moment,
They
they
are grounded,
grounded to a halt.
All right.
That's why I wanted the minister to
Thank you very much.
share some light on it.
All right. So we take 2 additional questions, and then we'll call it a day on questioning.
All right, so I'm just running a bit.
Please go ahead. Yes.
My name is Wisdom, working for TVXYZ. I want to find out regarding the Kojo Krom Takrade Railway. What's the development so far?
Well, the minister has already answered the question.
Okay.
So if you have another one.
And then, and then the second question has to do with this sprinter unions. You know, GPRTU hitherto would come out and say that they are increasing fares. Now there are a number of sprinter unions. So there's no decorum in terms of that adjustment process. And so I want to know, what is government doing? If there's going to be the invitation of state funds, state buses, like we used to have, maybe if from Dodowa to Accra, the state buses are charging, say, 10 cedis, and these drivers are doing that kind of a thing, then there can be some sort of, decorum. So what is the position there?
Okay. All right. So we'll end the questioning right here. Honorable Minister, you may want to answer these questions, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I left one of my seats there. Thank you. The first question was on the rickety vehicles that was in the first batch. The Ministry of Transport have observed that most of our vehicles on our roads themselves cause these accidents that we experience on a daily basis because of their state. Now, with my engagement with these unions that you just described, they have the control of their members. Government also has a control as to how to regulate the usage of our roads. The National Road Safety Authority, through the ministry, has stated that Cabinet has just approved the amendments we intend to make and will soon be laid in Parliament. That amendment will give the National Road Safety Authority to be able to take off such vehicles from our roads. Especially should your vehicle break down within the townships, it should be 30 minutes in the new law or the amendment for you to take it off. If after 30 minutes you are unable to take it off, National Road Safety Authority will take it off and surcharge you for the services. This, we're just waiting for Parliament to resume and we put the proposed amendment before Parliament. And I'm sure that it will go a long way to help us. But for now, MTTD and a private company does this kind of towing and removing some of these vehicles from our roads. But they don't have the numbers to be able to do that. And we will soon be getting to remove all these vehicles from our roads to the unions, such that we will be able to moderate or coordinate it without any problem of taking somebody off and having troubles. Despite the media, I mentioned that His Excellency the President directed that we work to re-establish a national air carrier, and that I inaugurated a 10-member task force that is currently working. They have submitted an inceptions report and an interim report will focus on the financial modalities that will take to be able to re-establish a national airline. And they are also looking at other practices that should we re-establish that airline, what or how will it be operated such that government interference will be very minimal for it to function for the kind of aviation industry we want to feed in. EV charging installations. I stated that the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition is responsible to electronic energy infrastructure. But as a Ministry of Transport, we are not sitting aloof on that aspect. We are also going to take lead to create one of the charging infrastructure at our ministry, such that any private person who has an EV vehicle within the ministries will be able to just branch in and have your vehicle recharge. And again, with the education, I said we have done 13 regions. We will continue by end of the year to complete, to be able to create the awareness of how to use electronic vehicles, and that will bring down operational costs for either companies or individuals. City FM on DVLA opening offices outside the country. It is an ongoing process, and we are far advanced in ensuring that we create the necessary framework that will fit into every country's road regulations, such that we don't get it done in a way that would not last. So it will take a little while for us to be able to roll it out. But initially we have faced some challenges, because who or how are we going to deploy our technical people to all those areas we want to open them? So these are the teething problems we are handling, and I believe that as time goes on, we'll be able to get through them and open in some countries for test ground to see how effective it will be. The Sena Radio, inland water transport. I stated that we will soon open up for interested firms who want to invest in the inland or coastal water transport. We have gotten a lot of proposals for companies and firms, and I stated here that I am encouraging the local companies to also express interest, because this will be sustained when we ourselves are interested in using the coastal transport. We believe that it will be able to take large chunk of traffic, especially the coastal trunk routes, from those routes onto the inland or the coastal waterways to create that kind of transport system. But the water lake transport, we are in serious engagement with partners to be able to deliver some vessels. And that is why we are looking at the Tema rail to Mpakadan, and then the inland water will take from Mpakadan to Bupe, so that we can have that kind of multimodal transport system, taking our cargo and fleet from our port or from our towns to the northern part of the country. And so we are working seriously to get it done. Radio Gold, Tema Mpakadan. We have done test run on the Tema to Mpakadan rail line, and it ended yesterday. And so by 1st October, God willing, we will start the first operations from Tema to Mpakadan. We are finished with the test runs, and everything is set for us to start operations from Tema to Mpakadan. So 1st October, maybe with our first trip, we will invite all of you to witness how that rollout will take place.
If you can clarify, he wants to know the state of the...
It has been fixed, and it is part of there are 2 coaches that we have. It has been fixed, and that is why we are able to do the test runs. And 1st October, you can come and have a feel of how we will cut our passengers from Tema to Mpakadan. Bonkra Inland Port. This has been on the table for a very long time. But as at last month, we had gotten interest from the private sector, and we are looking at the proposals they submitted, and we will soon shortlist a private person to be able to partner government to complete the Bonkra port. The difficulty is there should be a rail line connecting the port. Now, even if it is finished and we are unable to get a rail line to the Bonkra port, it will mean that you carry your cargo by trucks from the port, go and offload into Bonkra, and another cargo will be loaded and then to wherever you want to go. But we are looking at the two scenarios, how to get the rail line to Bonkra and how to complete the port. But I'm happy to say that we have gotten a strategic partner who is interested in investing in the Bonkra inland port to ensure that it is operational. TVXYZ, the sprinter unions, and what government unions are voluntary organizations. Either to GPRTU had the control of all of them. But we have realized that there are a lot of breakaway groups, just in order, either for whatever reason, to also have their influence on some people or control of some people. We are supporting GPR2 and all those unions to have a regional conference. And these are some of the deliberations we are going to have. It was supposed to have started tomorrow, Thursday, but because of some reasons, GPRTU has called it off to look for an appropriate date so that we can bring all these unions together, have a dialogue with them, and then see how they themselves either will agree to merge up with other unions or they will want to stay. But government business is, whether they stay or not, we should be able to have an efficient and effective transport system carrying our people on a daily basis, because we are aware that it is the transport sector that will move whether trade, whether tourism, or persons to wherever they want to go. And we have the firm belief that this conference we are going to have with them will come out with some results that will help us going forward. I thank you for these questions.
All right, thank you very much for. Sure, go ahead.
So it has to do with the DVLA, because you don't only license drivers, the new vehicles as well. But many times you see the vehicles in that state still having DVLA license or approval for them to roadway. Doesn't the DVLA have the authority to say this car is not in good condition to be on?
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but the minister will be available to field the question on the sidelines. So I want to thank all of you for coming and see you next time. Thank you very much.